And it looked like ESPN just told the shocking truth as to why Sandy Brondello was let go by the New York Liberty. Guys, for this one here.
Breaking, the WNBA just went off. ESPN revealed the shocking reason Sandy Brondello got fired, and fans are absolutely losing it. The Liberty's all-time winningest coach, fresh off a championship, suddenly shown the door. And now, the truth is out. It's messy, it's wild, and it's completely jaw-dropping. This isn't just a coaching shakeup. It could change the entire future of the WNBA. Stay tuned because this story is about to rock the league like never before.
The New York Liberty have let go Sandy Brondello. Well, in their terms, they will not renew her contract. In our eyes, they parted ways. She was fired, essentially. But not as bad as being fired, I guess. But that's just how we talk out here. Nonetheless, I'm shocked. She's been a coach there for 4 seasons. You look at the past 3 seasons, she made it to the finals in her 2nd season. She won the finals in her 3rd season, and they lost in round 1 this year. Outside looking in, you look at this franchise and you see that's a successful franchise. New York is a powerhouse in the W right now. So what is the issue? What is
The headline just dropped. And yes, ESPN is the one breaking this insane news. Sandy Brondello, the most successful coach in Liberty history, is gone. Just 1 year after delivering a championship, fans, and myself included, are staring at this thinking, wait, is this a typo? But no, this isn't a dream. This is the WNBA showing exactly how ruthless front offices can get when power and ego take over. We need to break down what ESPN revealed, because this isn't just basketball anymore. This is about politics, pressure, and a franchise acting bigger than the league itself. Here's the kicker. This firing wasn't a snap reaction to one slightly disappointing playoff run, no. According to ESPN, this had been brewing for a while. Sandy Brondello could have been out last year if she hadn't won the title. Championship or bust, literally.
Title. What exactly led to the parting of ways between the Liberty and Sandy Brondello here?
Well, Malika, I know you guys talk about this a lot in the NBA and in other sports, but it was really championship or bust for New York and for Sandy Brondello. And in fact, if they hadn't won the championship last year, we might have been having this conversation a year ago, which is maybe a little startling to fans outside, given how, excuse me for those noises, for how impactful she'd been for that franchise. But that is how bullish this organization is in New York, and how their ownership and management really are looking to just continue upon that success.
Now, I don't know about you, but how does this even make sense? You hire a coach, she completely rebuilds the franchise, takes the team to heights never seen before, racks up more wins than any Liberty coach in history, actually delivers a championship, and your thank you is a pink slip. It's like ordering the most incredible steak, eating every bite, and then sending it back because the plate wasn't hot enough. Ridiculous. And guess what? ESPN basically confirmed it. It makes no sense at all.
And so I think for New York moving forward, I would expect them to really, again, be bullish in who they go after. We know that they are a WNBA franchise that invests a lot in a lot of resources, a lot of financial, capital into these decisions. So I think it wouldn't be shocking, though, if they decide to go after maybe someone in the NBA, someone that we might be a little bit more of a non-traditional hire. I do think Sandy Brondello has a great shot of getting hired again. We know what she has done in this league. We know that there's openings in Seattle, for example, in addition to the 2.
The Liberty front office, they've been called bullish translation. These are Wall Street style owners who treat sports like a stock portfolio. If the numbers aren't perfect, you dump the asset and buy a new one. They don't play games, they demand constant, absolute dominance. And if you can't deliver on command, they'll just find someone who they think can. But here's the wild part. Brondello wasn't just winning, she was doing it while battling massive challenges completely out of her control. Injuries during the playoffs, players not at full strength, a roster lacking depth, and she still coached them all the way to the finals and won it all. Yet somehow, the front office spun this historic achievement into a negative. Absolutely wild.
ESPN to give us an update as to why Sandy Brondello will let go. And what's crazy about all of this in this interview that I'm about to show you guys is that Sandy Brondello was supposed to be fired last year, but she actually won the WNBA championship.
And get this, according to ESPN's insider Alexa, management basically made up their minds before the playoffs even started. It was title or else. That means if New York didn't clinch back-to-back championships, Sandy Brondello was out. Just let that sink in for a second.
Liberty just fired their head coach. People are confused as to why, because they won the championship last year. They made the playoffs this year. In sports, there's always a scapegoat when things aren't going the way that they wanted it to go. Clearly, in New York, the standard has been raised. As Coach Tibbs learned with the New York Knicks, making the playoffs does not guarantee that you are safe anymore. They have raised the standard. They're sending a message to the fans, to the team, saying, we don't want to just go to the playoffs. We need to go to the finals and we need to win. So if it's not the players on the court that are changing, it's got to be the coaching staff. So unfortunately, that did mean...
Even after delivering the Liberty's very first championship in franchise history, Brondello was being judged as if she needed to repeat it immediately. The bar was set so unrealistically high that the only possible outcome was failure. It's almost comical when you compare her resume to other franchises begging for a coach like her 40 playoff win, multiple titles with different teams, and a reputation for getting players fully bought in without ever being a dictator. Yet New York looks at that and shrugs. Thanks, but we're looking for someone else. It's like firing a chef right after earning your first Michelin star just because the garnish on one dish wasn't perfect. And the timing? Brutal. ESPN confirmed this wasn't a graceful farewell. The Liberty dropped a cold, lifeless, thanks for your service statement, and immediately started talking about a replacement. No celebration, no parade, just ice-cold efficiency. But here's why this matters beyond one coach. It exposes the WNBA's almost desperate obsession with NBA-style headlines without having the same infrastructure. The Liberty are acting like they're the Lakers, firing a coach after failing to three-peat. Newsflash, they're not. This is a league still fighting for market share, still trying to convince casual fans that stars like Caitlin Clark are must-watch. What the league needs is stability, not this kind of self-inflicted chaos.
You never want to see a player get injured, and a player like Caitlin and coming back has had a few injuries this year. She's a great player. It would have been good for our draft to see her, but hopefully they get to see her after post All-Star. You get to play them again. As for the All-Star, I'm excited to get to know her a little bit. I think that's the part of the All-Star, is going to coach players that you haven't coached before and get them to know them a little bit and enjoy the whole celebration.
And speaking of Caitlin Clark, we cannot ignore how this all ties directly to her. Caitlin has completely shifted the power balance in the WNBA. She's no longer just a rookie hype story. She's in her second year and already becoming the face of the league. Everything she does is magnified 1,000 times. Here's the kicker. When someone like Sandy Brondello publicly praises her or acknowledges her monumental impact, it makes the old guard uncomfortable. Suddenly, the politics of credit matter more than actual win. ESPN hinted at this. Brondello's openness about Caitlin's influence apparently rubbed powerful people the wrong way. The Liberty want their stars like Breanna Stewart and Sabrina Ionescu to be the uncontested faces of the team, maybe even the league. Having a coach openly recognize Caitlin's cultural impact doesn't fit the "we're the center of the universe" brand they've been selling. And here's where it gets really spicy. Breanna Stewart only signed a one-year deal, meaning she could walk. Imagine this, the Liberty fire their championship coach to make some bizarre point, and in the process, they alienate the very star who brought them credibility. ESPN even floated that Stewart might leave. If she does, New York goes from powerhouse to rebuild literally overnight. Meanwhile, voices across the league are already speaking up. Becky Hammond, one of the most respected coaches in the game, called the move into question without even saying it directly. That matters. But are the Liberty listening? Nope, they're too busy pretending to be grand chess masters while just flipping the entire board over. And the replacement question? ESPN even suggested the Liberty could look outside the WNBA, maybe an NBA assistant. That's handing a loaded veteran roster to someone who's never managed a WNBA locker room, like giving someone the keys to a Formula One car after only driving go-karts. Reckless, wild, but classic New York big splash. Meanwhile, Sandy Brondello will almost certainly land on her feet. Seattle has an opening. Expansion franchises are watching. She's too respected and successful to stay unemployed. The Liberty aren't just losing a coach, they're potentially handing a rival a championship-caliber leader. Imagine Sandy turning Seattle into a contender. ESPN would have a field day. Now let's rewind to the Liberty's record under Brondello. In 2022, 16-20, a clear rebuild year. 2023, 32-8 exploded to the finals. 2024, 32-8 won the title. 2025, 27-7 first-round exit, mostly due to injuries. Context matters, yet the front office still acted like none of it existed.